Hello, Flosstube. This is Angie, Bubmie on Instagram. Today is Tuesday, May 29th, and I'm been away for a while. It was been a very busy end of April, and May was very, very busy. My son Matthew graduated from high school. Here's my handsome boy, off to college next year. Very excited about that. He's going to study business. So we were very busy and school is out, so I'm very excited about that and time to do some more stitching. Since the last time I showed that Mary was finished, but here she is all framed, ready to go. Andrew was ordained this weekend. I don't know where his assignment is yet, but I'm going to give this to him. I'm pretty excited about it. My frame shop here in town that I use, Jeffrey Allen, they do a beautiful job with framing, so I'm excited about that. And I was going to show an old piece from, this piece I did back in probably 1990, probably once I knew I was expecting our first son. I didn't know what we were having. I didn't find out. Back then you had to, you got one sonogram, that was it. So, and we didn't want to know. So since I didn't know if I was having a boy or a girl, sorry for the glare, I'm sitting next to the window. It's kind of a cloudy day today. But I didn't know if I was having a boy or a girl. And so that's what I made. Of course, I went on to have all boys, no girls. But I really like that piece a lot. I think that was a Jan Lynn kit before we had an LNS, or I knew we had an LNS in town. I have had a nice amount of haul since I last saw you last. My newest piece that just came in the mail today is from Ginger Gerald Stitcher on Etsy, and this is his windmills, and I cannot wait to stitch this up. I just love how he finished it in these windmills. So hop on over to Etsy if you would like to stitch that up. I love watching Gerald. And I showed in my last video that I had gone to Hobby Lobby and gotten a few things that I wasn't going to go to any other Hobby Lobbies. People were talking about how they were driving to all their closest Hobby Lobbies. And I happened to be in another town because of baseball. And so I thought, oh, I'm just going to stop in. I needed to get some other things. And so I got this one. This is called America. And I couldn't pass this up. This was a $100 pattern that I got for $25, and I could not pass this up. So very excited about that one. I don't know when I'll do it. I don't know if I'll do it. I might gift it to someone if I don't know. And I got this one. I just love this flower. This one's called Marguerite. That pretty flower. And then I know I've told you that my LNS is going out of business, so I've been trying to go in and see what, what else is there. Like I need anything else because I have enough to keep me stitching for the rest of my life, plus a few lives extra. I love patriotic, so I found this Itty Bitty Stars and Stripes by Twisted Threads. Thought that was kind of cool. And this Christmas one by Heart and Hand. The snowman just cracks me up. I showed it to my husband. I said, doesn't this snowman look like he's getting choked? But they had some cool patterns on here that I really liked. And then here's a patriotic one, the Prairie Schooler. This is book 100, American Strawberries. Thought those were cool. And then Prairie Schooler book 115, Pins and Needles. So that one was neat. And then I don't remember when I got this. It's been a while. I had to get the primitive punch needle and primitive stitcher because Vanna's picture's in the back, because Vanna's gonna be a contributing person. So, and there's always some really, really neat patterns in here. And here's one of Frida. And the reason why I like this, I know that McKenna loves Frida. My girlfriends and I go to this local Mexican establishment, and there's a picture, before we knew it was Frida, hanging on the wall, and it always kind of creeped us out a little bit. It's one where Frida has a mustache. So, because it reminds me of my girlfriends and being there and the hours we spent there laughing and having fun together. And then I'm in the Farmhouse Christmas series, and so I just happened to pick this one up today. She called me. This one's really neat. I love this quilt pattern. If you're not, somebody was listening to somebody today, they're not into farm, but this quilt is really pretty. I'm excited to stitch that up, and I haven't decided, I haven't done any of them yet. I haven't decided, am I going to do one big piece? That's what the fabric I have is for one piece, or am I going to do individual? I can't decide yet. And when I did Mary, where did I put Mary at? Sorry, I'm on a screen here. When I did Mary, somebody asked me, either on Instagram or on here, what fabric I used. And I've told you before, I love Lugana, and I could pick out Lugana, but otherwise I'm kind of like, ooh, look, that's in my stash. I think that's pretty. Or if I go to a stash bin at a L&S and I look through the fabric and look at the feel and look at the color and whatever's floating my boat at the moment. This is something I had. This was off of a roll, like a package, and I couldn't remember, but it is Hardanger because I went to a thrift shop today and I bought a package of Hardanger, and that's what this is. It's 22 count Hardanger, and I'm not one to like people talk about the small stitch counts that they use and they do over one. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I do like this, and that Mary was over 4, and I have something else I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna tea dye this and do a piece for an exchange that I'm in. I tea dyed for the first time. I tea dyed this, and all I did was stick it in a measuring cup with warm water. I think it was warm, I don't remember, and threw 1 tea bag in there. And I don't know if the light's giving it justice here, but I like how this piece turned out. This is, I believe, this is called monk's cloth, and it's got pretty big, they're pretty big, I don't know which is the right side, stitches on there. But I'm not sure for what I want to do, because I think I'm going to make a pillow. There's separation. You could see those big holes like an Ada. So I might tea dye this and do what I'm going to do and do it on this instead and do it over 4 like I did Mary. I think that'll work out nicely. So, but I got it at the thrift store for under $1. So, and it doesn't smell like smoke or anything. I like to go antiquing, and my husband humored me and took me down I-55 on the way to St. Louis. I think it was near Litchfield. It's an old school, and out front there is like a flying saucer, and there's a giant ice cream cone and some other things, and every time we've gone past, I'm like, I want to stop there one day. Well, he took me. There's a lot of stuff there. I got 3 cross-stitch books, and then he took me another time to another place, and I got this Longaberger sewing basket for dirt cheap, and it was brand new. It was in the box. I got the box, and I got the liner and the lid, for dirt cheap. And so I just filled it with some of my stuff that'll stay right here. I was pretty excited about that. I think recently I read that Longaberger's going out of business, declared bankrupt, something, but So anyways, in my travels to this place, I got 3 books. Beautiful cross stitch from Classic Quilt Designs by Brenda Day. You can see I went through and I'm going to show you what I found in here. This was kind of cool. They took this, it's a sampler, and it was this lady's her child's name and all the schools they went to in the years. But then she also took it and she made this pillow out of the house design. So in here for each of the designs, she gives more than one way to finish with the pattern that she has. I thought that was really neat. So here's a close-up of that pillow. I know a lot of you are into quilting as well. I've done a little bit of quilting. My sister-in-law is a quilter and a seamstress. And so she gave me the bug. This is my favorite. Check this out. I just love it. And that's with Mill Hill beads on the top. Now I don't know that I would put the Mill Hill beads on there, but they did a photo frame. Or a mirror. This was a frame for a mirror. I just really love that geometric, and having all men, I thought that's something that they would like. And that was really cool. Here's the box a close-up of that box. How cool is that? I just love that geometric. I like this pillow. I like the colors. And then I just picked up my favorites. These Christmas ornaments. I thought those were neat. I don't know when I'll get these done, but. And then A to Z cross stitch samplers by a Vanessa Ann collection. $19.89 is the copyright date. I thought this one was kind of cool. Don't look back. And there's a little something to go with each one. It says, draw up your horse and declare a new day with directions and determination. You'll sure to find your way. Though the distance may seem long and dreary days turn blue, don't drift, make decisions, and your dreams will all come true. I like that. And then there's a lot of farm themes going on. And this one, my mother bought a dozen eggs, then went out to exercise. Evidently, upon returning home, she got a big surprise. The carton she found was empty. Then something caught her eye. What emerged was a dozen chicks, each no bigger than 1 inch high. And here's a beautiful garden. Isn't that pretty? Those colors. The carrots underground. Mary, Mary, quite contemporary. How does your garden grow? There are geraniums and morning glories and daffodils in a row. When asked why I grow only flowers and vegetables no more, I reply, my goodness, I can get frozen greens at any convenience store. This one's the sheep and patriotic. Thought that was neat. I included a bit of irony to add some sensation in hopes this idea might arouse your imagination. My illustration initially was just red, white, and blue, but indescribably turned out to say, I want you. And then one more quilt theme. Now, stitching on black is not one of my favorite things, but it sure does make the colors pop. Quilt blocks stitched in crosses are something you might question, but in our quest for quasi-quilts, it's only a suggestion. They're very quaint, quick to stitch, with a quality guarantee. Now isn't that enough excuse to form a quasi-quilting bee? So, I really like that. And then one last one. I have quite a few of these Leisure Arts Timeless Christmas ones. This is book 10. And there were a few, you can see I got a few post-it notes in here. There was some Santa items that I thought were nice in here. These mushrooms reminded me of Gerald. Look at that elfin yellow Gerald. I don't know if Gerald watches, but... And oh, look at this. Here's the teddy bear, and look at his paper doll clothes. These are just adorable. I'm a sucker for paper dolls. Here's some, I liked this Christmas tree and that Starry Night, Bethlehem. And snowmen. I love, love, love snowmen. Sorry, I'm still holding that snowman. I think he looks like the snowman from the book. Is the book, children's book, Snow Day or Snowman. And then this paper, this is on perforated paper, this nativity scene. I really like that. So if anybody wants to borrow these books, because I don't know when I'll get to any of these, shout me out and I will let you borrow them. Happy to share. So what have I been working on? It was such a busy month that I have not worked on a ton. I said I was going to try Mania. I've never been a Mania person. Not that I have anything against Mania. All of you who have a gabillion whips, more power to you. I can't. It kind of gives me the ibby-jeebies. So I have all these little kits from the Cross Stitcher and Cross Stitch Crazy magazine. So I thought I'm gonna throw those in my little travel bag as I'm traveling. I was traveling in May for baseball with my son. I thought I'll stitch in the car and that will be great. And was thinking I would get several starts going. I worked on, I think I've got 3 here. I've got 4 that I worked on in the car. The first one was this Mother's Day little card finish. And I didn't have the day I picked it out in the car, I did not have the magazine, so I literally was stitching off this picture. But here's how far I got. I think I did pretty doggone good for stitching off that picture. Sorry, my thread's hanging here. But that's just a cute little basket. I like that, I like those colors. And then one day I started this little hedgehog, Herbert Hedgehog. This is from the World of Cross Stitching. I didn't get as far on Herbert. His light colors were giving my eyes fits. I got pretty far with him. And then this cute fox and baby. I got pretty far with this one. The colors were easier to pull apart. And from Cross Stitch Crazy, I love tea. Love, love, love tea. And I love these, I love that pink. I got pretty far with that one. So those were my Mania, little bit of Mania that I did, 4 of them. Those I just did in the car or if we were sitting waiting somewhere. I did work a lot on my Let Freedom Ring by Lila's Studio. Here is, I don't have a big piece of paper to put behind it. I'll put that. But I finally got the Liberty Bell done, and I don't know if you can see it, it's pretty light. I've started on the top of the steeple for Independence Square. I think that's what it's called. So I'm excited about it. I really enjoy working on this. It's 1 thread over 2. I do not know what the fabric is. Somebody said on Instagram that I was cruising along with it and I would be done by Labor Day. I don't know about that. I would like to be done by Labor Day. I'm also working on the Country Cottage Needleworks. This is the Main Street series, and here's the bakery. And I was noticing the other day, when I look at this, when I look at those colors of that house, they are blue to me. I don't know what you guys see. Yanni or Laurel. I see blue when I look at that. But the called for colors are 958 and 964. And those, to me, are green. They're some of my favorite greens. So this is how far I am on this. But I really love it. That's the only the second one that I have done. Here's the first one I have done. I have no idea how I'm going to finish these. I kind of was thinking about giving them to some of my girlfriends. I have one who loves books and one who loves wine, one who loves coffee. So we'll see. When I first started watching Flosstube last year, I don't remember who I was watching. I apologize. Shout it out or comment if it was you. But somebody was talking about, she told her husband she's going to start cross-stitching, and he wasn't really excited, and he made her promise not to do any geese. And later that day, I had gone upstairs and was looking through my finishes, and I found this. Check it out. I think I did this for my mom, and I put it aside, and then geese lost their favor. Totally lost their favor. My mother-in-law still has the glasses. She doesn't use them, but she has them. And I was at my friend's house. We did a joint birthday party, and we were storing stuff in her pantry, and she has, I think it must have been her huge Mixmaster was covered, and it was in the geese pattern. I thought, cool. I have a shout out. I have a new project bag. This came from Tiff from Express to Life. I commented how I had to run out and buy Snoopy fabric, and she said, hey, I have some, I'll make you a bag. So thank you, Tiff. I just love it. My secret thing I'm making is in, look at the cute buttons she put on the front and the love. She does beautiful work. And she will do commission pieces. So, I told you in one of my other videos that I'm part of the Just Another Button Club, Button Company monthly thing. And I got some more buttons. These are the beachy buttons. And look at these mint greens. Oops, sorry. I just love these greens. I gotta figure something that I gotta use these with. But love those colors, and I love looking at them. I have jars of buttons, and I love looking at them. Okay, so this is the end of my Know Your Needle Worker, my favorite TV show. I don't watch a lot of TV. I like to watch the Cubs on TV. I like to watch the Chicago Blackhawks. I like to watch The Big Bang Theory. I think that's hilarious. My husband and I are all caught up on Game of Thrones and can't wait. I have to wait till 2019 to watch the rest of that. I love Star Trek, any Star Trek. I know people are pure, you know, like only Voyager or only like the old ones or whatever. I like any of them. Favorite music. I am very, very eclectic when it comes to my music. AC/DC, Queen, Bruno Mars, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. I don't know. I'm not, I can't really listen to the stuff my son listens to. I really have a hard time listening to that. Recent movie, we've talked about movies before, but I don't go to the movies at the movie theater very often, but I went with my friends and saw Book Club, and that was just a cute, cute movie. I really liked it and enjoyed it with my girlfriends. What one word describes you? If I had to pick, I'd say like scatterbrained, because I can't keep my stuff together and forget things and can't remember things a lot. I asked one of my closest friends, she said loyal. That was her nice answer. My youngest son said motherly, and my third son said patient. So, I guess those all describe me. I thought that was sweet that that's what they had to say. I have a couple of shout outs. I'd like to shout out to Becky, the Obsessed Stitcher, because she shouted me out and talked about the Indiana retreat, and that was a lot of fun. Silent Stitcher, I apologize. I've tried closed captioning. I don't think probably just hitting the closed captioning works very well. And Michelle Garrett Bendy Stitchy, I know I credited her for doing the Midwest retreat, and that's the other Michelle. Should have written down. Farm Girl Stitcher, got it. And Buckeye Stitcher, I can't wait to meet Buckeye Stitcher in person at StitchCon, and I'm going to StitchCon. I'm very excited about that. I can't wait to go out there and stitch the month of June. Can't wait to meet all the new floss tubers and new people. It's going to be a lot of fun. My co-workers cannot wait for StitchCon as well, because when I told them they're going, they were belly rolling, laughing. They thought it was hilarious I was going to StitchCon. They wanted to know, was I wearing a costume? I have thought of a costume. I don't know if I'll wear one, but I've thought of one. They're not making fun of Stitchers or StitchCon. They just thought it sounded funny, kind of like Comic-Con. So they thought it was funny. They can't wait for me to go. They can't wait to see what all I come back with and what I have to say. So, I really love the stitching community because you all get it. And there's not very many people I can talk to about stitching. Case in point, my coworkers who thought StitchCon's hilarious. So it's nice to have all of you out there who get it and understand and have the same passion. Sorry, I was shaking my leg. I really miss Heidi Cran. I wish she would get back to making floss tubes, and Melly Yelly. You guys need to get back to it. And in honor of Heidi, I have a What I'm All Into. Young Living Deep Relief. Last year I started getting arthritis in my hands. I was an oboe player for many years in high school and college, and when I would practice for long times, this part of my hand would swell up, and it still does. It's pretty swollen right now from carrying tables and chairs from graduation party. And after I stitch for a long time, my hands hurt. So this Deep Relief, I put a little on before I go to bed, and it doesn't hurt either. So if you have a Young Living person that you know of, and if you don't, contact me. Vonna will attest to that I could hook you up with some Deep Relief. I hope everybody's well. Hopefully now that it's summertime, I will be able to stitch more often. Oh, if you notice, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the background, the color of my wall is different. This was my son Thomas's room, and now it's going to be my stitching room. So it needed to be painted. It hadn't been painted in a while. My husband and I went to get paint, and we knew yellow was going to be the color. He was in agreement with it, and I pulled out the very first swatch. The middle color said golden thread. I said, Dave, it says golden thread. And he's like, well, of course, that's the color we have to get. So I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't hung anything up on the walls and yet. I have a cabinet that's going to come up here to hold my stitchy stuff. So I'm excited about that. I hope all is well with you. Keep on stitching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your stitchy life, and have a great week.